This particular video will contain spoilers if you're a fan of Robot Wars, and shortly, but for you guys a little while ago, is the final of the Robot Wars series, whatever it is. And as such, there's an event going on. Check it out. People running this event are actually my brothers, and my brothers they were fans of Robot Wars back in the day. And I'll just interrupt it there to say the video that I was going to make is slightly different, and the links I shot at the time didn't really make sense, so here we go. They were fans back in the day, and we'll return to the Robot Wars event a little later. But one of the things that really struck me, not just tonight, but it reinforced it tonight, was the people out there, maybe you're one of them, who had a dream when they were younger, and my brothers are a prime example of that. They were massive fans of Robot Wars. If you don't believe me, I'll put some video up now that you can see. This will be when they were kids. This would be 15 years ago, maybe 20 years ago, where their hobby of enjoying Robot Wars really shone out, and that never left them. Now, 15, 20 years on, that's what their life is. They've gone full circle from being what you see here as childhood hobby to making this their career. And their career wasn't that they all went off for 20 years and then had a midlife crisis and came back. They just stuck at it. They just never left. And if many people, myself, maybe you, have dreams and ambitions, and then things get in the way of that, and responsibilities, and it doesn't have to be that way. My brothers are living proof of that, and to a certain extent myself. But my brother's story is really interesting. It is really unique. They started as being fans of Robot Wars.
This is Raptor, and it's seeded #1 at the moment. Shell's made out of cardboard coated in foil, and it's got 2 main weapons. First one.
Nasty. So you've had a couple of war wounds off optional elements, haven't you? Quite a few knife wounds.
I've had those in the side.
And now they've just completed a second series of running Robot Wars on behalf of the production company. They're the guys who put life into the house robots. They're the guys who organise the roboteers from all around the world. And they've gone on to do loads of other things as well. If I can find the quick show reel, and I don't mean this video to be a plug of what they do, because in truth, 99.9% of you out there are not in the game to be using the services of my brothers. But they've gone on and taken that passion of covering remote control cars in tinfoil to building some of the coolest stuff in the world.
Samsung NX Rover. The NX Rover bridged the gap between the camera and photographer.
Kind of what we're all trying to do in a weird way, but so many of us lose that along the way. I fight on a daily basis to make sure that I don't lose that, and there are times that it just gets a little bit further away or less in sight, and I just have to look over at what my brothers are doing. It pulls me straight back on there. You know, that what they do now was never an option at school. It wasn't on a career path. There was no formal training to go and do it. Sure, they could have gone off and did engineering or whatever. Anyway, I could keep going on. If you've got a dream, if there's something you want to do, carve out the time to do it. Make it your own. The world isn't going to hand it to you on a plate, but you can go and take it. And you should. YouTube, as well as other platforms, and not just in video, but these offer a really unique opportunity, an opportunity that won't exist in 10 years' time. And, you know, what an exciting time to be in. Get out there and make something. I think to do that whole Casey Neistat, do more. Just do something, but don't let go of the thing that it is you wanted to do. Anyway, I digress. Do check out the website though, and they're always doing some pretty cool stuff. So as part of this event, this 10-year event, and the final of the second comeback series of Robot Wars, James and Grant laid on a whole bunch of projects that they've done. Not all of them, not by a long stretch, but some of them. Some of them you may have seen. There are things from Sunset Overdrive game. There's another game that I can't remember the name from, but this dog, I know it's called Mac. They made a Power Tool drag race and hold some Guinness World Records for that. Then they made this crazy spider thing. The actual spider itself was based off of a toy, a combat creature, which is about that big. And this one walks and moves. That's pretty cool. Back to the event in hand. After all the celebratory 10-year stuff, it was time for the final of Robot Wars. Now, the roboteers, who all know my brothers and have got to know them very well over the last 10 years or so, they all get together for these finals events, and there was a great turnout, bar the guy who would go on to win. It was a really great evening, and just felt really cool to be around a load of geeks. These people aren't geeky web designers or typographists or the sort of people that I meet on a daily basis. These people, you know, are the traditional, quintessentially British man in the shed. And there's something really endearing about that, and being in the presence of these people who've got their robots on display as well. The final to Robot Wars, I'll let you go and watch that, but it was great, and it's amazing how far technology's come on since Robot Wars and BattleBots first started all those years ago. By the end of it, my kids were real tired, so we got out of there, and this is a bit later on. Now, I mentioned before, but I'll mention it again. We are off to NAB shortly. If there's anything you'd like me to take a look at, or if you're going, do let me know. I'd like to see comments boxes being filled up with things other than the Blackmagic web presenter. But on that, I haven't forgotten about some of the questions that you have asked, and when we get back from NAB, I will go ahead and answer all those and make videos. In the interim, if you like anything that I do, it's always a help if you subscribe, like, share, and all the other relevant things along the way. I'm Matt, and thanks for watching.